For my Media Studies A2 level course, a large part of my work was to be based around the music industry, and for the coursework section of my project, I was instructed to compile a set of research based on the codes and conventions used in all areas of the industry. I have done so via my blog, and all of this research was intended to be used as aid for me to produce my own music video, digipack and magazine advert as part of an artist promotional advertising campaign for his or her upcoming album. And so I needed to begin by deciding my target audiences, which I decided to be the 15 to 30-year-old age group, as I found that the greatest consumers of all musical products fell in this age group. I then began by selecting the genre, and after basing my work around the increasingly popular hip-hop genre last year, I decided for a change this year, opting for a different genre, this time being the electronic music genre. My selection for the electronic genre was because I knew of a song by a relatively unknown artist called Stephen Schwartz, whose song Bullet Train featuring Joni Fatora gave me an idea for the music video. My idea was for it to be a narrative storyline following a man who is attempting to get to the train station before his girlfriend or wife leaves him, as I felt that this could link with the lyrics and be a credible video for the song. As I have said, my idea for the Bullet Train video is for it to be a narrative storyline, following a man who is attempting to get to the train station before his partner leaves him. This would be a consistent montage of car scenes as he raced to the station, along with cross-cutting to other sections featuring the main character's girlfriend making her way onto the train, and performance aspect with sections of the video displaying the artist on a set of DJ decks to help further increase the artist's visibility. For the production of my music video, my group made a decision to split these three main sections up and work on each individually, and so my section was the car scenes. I aimed to create fast-paced car scenes by utilising a selection of shots that varied in distance, angle and movement to make for a tense and professional feel. The parallel editing to the female also further helps to add to this tension, and the lack of facial shots for identification further boosts up the tension as audiences want to find out who the characters are. As the song begins, I used a lot longer and slower shots, and then as the song's beat and rhythm began to pick up, I then increased the number of shots and cuts to make for a more fast-paced feel, linking the visuals to the rhythm of the song. I also further linked aspects of the song to the video in the chorus with the lyric moving at the speed of sound, as I have then shown a fast-forwarded section from the front of the car windscreen as it goes down the road, making it literally look as though it is moving at the speed of sound, thus using Goodwin's theory by linking lyrics to visuals. I probably used the most common convention in all music videos in the fact that the whole story of the video is based on love and relationships, with our protagonist attempting to get to a certain location as time runs out, another code used in a variety of media industries. We also use many electronic music conventions with a fast-paced music video, along with the scenes of action, whilst also being rather low budget. At the beginning of the video there is a black screen with a monologue from the two characters, with the female informing the male that she is leaving for the train, used to set the scene for the rest of the video. I think if I was to do this video again, I would probably improve this section, maybe with a montage of flashbacks with lots of ellipsis in between, displaying the two in confrontation, and then by maybe a final shot of the man coming home to see she's gone for the train. It would make for a little more emotional connection and possible relation to fans and audiences, as we would then see the pair in a much more emotional state, rather than just the black screen. Also, other improvements would be that I would probably film the entire piece later on, as though he had just returned from work to see that she has left, as the city streetlights accompanied by the red sunset would probably make for a fitting mise-en-scene. A rainy day might also be a good idea, as it would both look good visually for the car action sequences, whilst also using pathetic fallacy to reflect the negative mood. After retrieving audience feedback for the video, I found that many people liked the video, however they didn't think it was clearly an electronic genre video, and so to rectify this I think that I would use more cuts, special effects and possibly a camera filter to make our video more suitable for our genre. For my digipack I had to create my own artist to act as the architect of the Bullet Train single, and so I decided to use Stephen Schwartz's name. However, I then erased the first name Stephen, leaving just Schwartz, which I thought sounded slick and professional, and the type of DJ name which I could see realistically in the electronic genre. I then decided upon a model for my artist, and I felt that the young man with the quirky facial hair fitted well, and the moustache makes him even more distinguishable and recognisable to fans, whilst also linking him to European culture, which is a part of the world where this type of music is huge, with mainstream stars like the Swedish Avicii and the French David Guetta dominating the genre at the moment. After researching electronic album design, I noticed that they were either very simple or very surreal, and so I have tried to create a mixture of the two by using simple images of the artist's profile and then applying a variety of effects to it to make the image more interesting. I began by applying the fractured effect, making the image of the artist look as though it's shattering. I then overlaid layers to apply an anaglyphic three-dimensional effect to add to the surreal feel of the image. I did the same on the back cover, only this time I used an image of the artist's back to act as a backdrop for the song list. I think that this imagery should stand out well to customers due to the eye-catching hallucinogenic effects used, and also with the model's direct address and eye contact. After creating the key art, I then added the typography with the artist and album names placed above and below the artist, as well as along the spine. The slick typeface utilised for the title is clean and simple to look professional, whilst also having a few sharp edges and lines to give it that edgy electronic feel, and the accented letters further link him to the European culture. The album title font is very plain and is just intended to be a bold, not quite as aesthetically pleasing as the artist's name. This was done intentionally in order for customers to be more attracted and therefore inclined to look at the artist's name as opposed to the album name. Due to it being the debut album, I think that the artist would rather have his own exposure and visibility increased. The institutional information, including the barcode, subsidiary and conglomerate music label logos, parental advisory logo, and the copyright information, has all then been added to improve the professionalism. Again, for the insert and disc design, I didn't want anything too complex, and so the disc simply has the same name and album typography layered on top of a white disc. I think if I was to do this again, I would use a silver reflective disc, like the recent Yeezus disc from Kanye West, which wouldn't have just added to the edgy visual effects featured throughout the digipack. The insert is again very simple. At first I had placed the artist and album name on the insert, however after audience feedback I realised that this pairing of typography was being overused throughout the digipack panes, and so I ended up with the S of the artist's name, Schwartz, placed centrally. This is very similar to the R of Rihanna, which is a convention commonly used by a promotional team as a logo for advertising campaigns. And then the shattered effect is around the border of both inside panes for consistency and further visual effect. Also, as this is an album digipack, not a single digipack, the album and video don't exactly link together too smoothly. However, if it was a single cover, instead I would have probably created a piece including the car seen throughout the video. The magazine advert is simply a larger version of the digipack design, very similar to most magazine album adverts, for instance Jay-Z's Blueprint 3 album advert. Having the same image used in the magazine advert further increases consistency throughout the advertising campaign. The only differences to the digipack is that the advert is A4 sized and now features the release date and web address below the album name on a soft white fading backdrop to help it further stand out. All in all, I am pleased with my production this year in my A2 Media course. I am very happy with my digipack and magazine advert as I think that they are very slick, creative and professional, whilst also adhering to a range of electronic genre and digipack design conventions. I am pleased with the video. I really like the concept. However, admittedly, I do feel that the video could have been executed a lot more successfully.